In this episode, we're going to be checking out the Chicago Hush 150. We'll take a quick look at that and how things have been going since I moved house in the last couple of weeks. Let's go. Hello everyone and welcome back. It's been a little while since I did my last video. I've been moving house. If you're pretty new to the channel, I just bought this place and moved in. So I moved from a double garage place that I was renting and I moved into this place which I bought for myself. So I'm still working on the transition, but yeah, I'm pretty excited about what I can at least have a bit more say in how I set up the garage and that sort of thing, and putting shelves and stuff on the wall. So that's going to be pretty cool. So one of the cool things I noticed is since I haven't done a video in a little bit is that the channel's been growing. We're currently at about 200 and almost 230 subscribers. So all the new people that have joined, thank you. I hope you enjoy watching the build. There isn't a lot of Ford builds on YouTube. So yeah, I'm sort of pretty proud to be at least one of those people who's given it a go. Also, all the existing subscribers, everyone who's stuck around and supported me this far, I really appreciate that, and thank you to all you as well. It's much, much appreciated, and yeah, really thank you for that. All right, so one of my earlier episodes, I did paint inside the boot, and I was doing that with spray cans. So I was originally going to finish that off in spray cans, but then you look at there's other parts of the car, like this bit here I've done just the spray cans, and obviously, this is just not going to cut it. So I do have a little mini sort of Chicago compressor, but that's not going to cut it to paint anything like a car. So I thought I'd buy another one. Let's take a look at that. All right, so this is the Chicago Hush 150. It is a silence compressor. It's got 4 of these motors on it. And I think it's it's a 150, so it's a 150 litre tank as well. Yeah, this is going to replace my little compressor, which basically just has one of these engines on there, and that's it. So it does have it's a little water trap there. Comes on 4 wheels. It is bloody heavy though. So yeah, it's a bit of a big beast, but definitely do the job for spray painting. So that's kind of pretty cool. If we have a look here, it's got a couple of switches. So you got 2 switches for the motors on one of these boxes and 2 on the other one. Underneath we can see there's a little valve there, and that's just to obviously let air pressure out and let the water out of the tank at the bottom as well. So here's the label here. It gives you a bit of details about it. And it also came with, when I bought it, I got it on sale, it was $1,550. Also came with this hose here. So they threw that in, and I was kind of waiting for these to come on sale. So managed to get that when it was on special. Saved a couple $100, but yeah, I'm planning on using that to try and spray the XW. One of the things worth noting with the Hush 150, which I didn't know when I bought it, it's not a standard 10 amp plug. It's actually a 15 amp plug. As you can see, it's got a much thicker earth section on that, so you can't plug that into your normal power outlet. Kind of caught me off guard because I went to plug it in and I went, yeah, that's going to be a problem. So I did, like I've mentioned, I did buy this place. I can put a 15 amp socket in the wall. But one thing I did find is you can actually get a adapter that's rated to do this, obviously. Anyway, let's have a look at that and we'll talk about that. Okay, so this is the Amphibian Work Power Adapter. So this is $199. You can buy these at Bunnings. There are some other ones, but you can see this is designed for power tools. I mean, I could have got a cheaper one, but I thought, what the hell, might as well get the best one, and I can use it for any kind of work tools and stuff, have it outside, it's waterproof and that sort of thing. So as you can see, you can plug it into a 10 amp plug and you can use tools and stuff at 15 amps, and we'll have a look at it, but yeah, it allows you to do that. So this is the only legal way, I believe, that you can actually do this. It goes through a whole bunch of things that you can use it for. So there's DIY power adapter, it's a caravan power adapter, it's a work power adapter, and it's got a whole range of, you know, what you can use it for. It's Australian made, which is kind of cool, and it's the only legal way you can actually plug in a device into a 10 amp plug that I'm aware of. So also it is worth mentioning that it's not really something that, you know, if you're going to be using something like a 15 amp tool, you know, in a work environment, like a lot, that's not what it's designed for. So it's probably useful if you're just going to use it in small bursts, because obviously it's going to pull a lot of power, and this is going to stop you causing a fire if you try to do it any other way. So there's a little disclaimer here which talks about, please note, this device will not convert 15 amp to 10 amp. The functionality of your connected device may be limited if intending to use it to its full capacity. So there is some limitations, but I think it'll work for what I'm doing. Otherwise it's about 500 bucks to put a 15 amp socket in my wall and upgrade my fuse box. So I'm going to test it out with this. Let's have a look. Okay, so here's the device once you take it out of the box. So you have a pretty decent sized lead. I don't know, it's probably maybe 1.5 meters or something. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing, but it's probably about 1 meter. Maybe it's 1 meter or so. It's actually pretty reasonably long, good enough to plug into the wall. But it also has its own fuse in here. And then, so this is where you plug into your wall with this. This is your standard 10 amp. You test this. This is also waterproof, and you can actually, it's got a bracket here that you can use. And on this side, you should be able to open this. So if I'm going to do this one-handed, okay, you can open it, and the 15 amp plug will go in here. And then, yeah, you'll put this back down, and it's waterproof as well. So now this you can open, and I believe this little plastic tab, you can pull that up and lock it. I'll see if I can open it, but it's actually pretty stiff on the first go, but I'll see how I go trying to do that. What I've been doing is just getting a coin in here. Okay, so you can see there, we've got a fuse switch there. And there's also a test button here. So you press that, it should trigger the fuse. Let's give that a go. Okay, so now we've got that plugged in the wall. You can see that the fuse is on. We're going to trigger the test button. And as you can see, if it doesn't do that, then you shouldn't use it. So let's turn this back on. That's basically just a test before you use it, because you know that this is going to protect you. If you overload the circuit, this is going to trigger and you're not going to burn your house down, which I don't want to, because I just moved in here. Anyway, let's plug the air compressor into this and go from there. Alright, so we've got this all plugged in, power's on, we've already tested this, which is cool. I'm actually just going to put this on the floor here. That should be fine. I've got the lead here. I just grabbed a bit of a hose here. It's kind of in there, but I'll fix it up shortly. Just grab the hose so I can just let some of the air out, but we're just going to turn it on and test it and see what she's like. So you can see that's not actually very loud. So that's 4 of those running. And it's not very loud at all, so there you go. I'm going to switch it off. Before we do that, you can see pressure's going up there. Anyway, let's turn it off. You can see she's working, that's all we need. So now we do have the air compressor, and I did do a video on this before. I don't know if I've ever put it on the channel though. And yeah, my computer's decided to pack it in, so I don't know where that footage is right now. I'll have to fix my computer and go for it again. But I did get this DeVilbiss FLG. This was recommended by the Gunman. If anyone watches, anyone who's interested in spray painting, the Gunman, yeah, he recommended this as a pretty decent gun. So that's what I'm going to be using to put some paint on the old Falcon here. And yeah, we'll clean up some of this stuff. So it's pretty unlikely I'll do the whole car at the same time. I'll just probably do one panel at a time, mainly just so I don't piss off my neighbors. And two, it gives me a chance to practice. So I think it'll come up all right. But anyway, if that changes, we'll see. Okay, the other thing, you'll see the fuel tank's I'm still using a remote fuel tank because the actual fuel tank's still not in the car yet. You can see the replacement tank, and I've done a video on that. That's one of the ones from Rare Spares. That's got to go in. Now I've got the air compressor. I'll be able to spray the boot again and clean up the underneath as well, because I want to spray underneath and also do some rust repairs. I'm going to start doing that. And then we can fit that tank in. Now, you'll see on the back here, I've got the standard 12 sliders back. The welds I've got over here. So I took them off. There's the welds for the back. I took them off because I did get to drive it. I did get to drive the old girl, moving it from one place to the other. So I did get a little bit of a drive. Not that far because it is unregistered, and obviously you can't take it on a public road, but I did get to drive it a little bit, and it doesn't drive as good as I remember it. Brakes, yeah, pretty average. So, and steering's heavy compared to say a modern car. So, but it was pretty cool to be able to sit in it and actually drive it under its own power, which was pretty awesome. Okay, so as I've mentioned, I've got the 12 sliders back on because I was driving it, and the welds rub on the guard. So they're back on there just while I was moving it, which was pretty cool, but they're obviously going to come back off, and we'll put the welds back on. And over here, you'll see under there, I still have the 9-inch just sitting here. That's got to go in. Now, before the 9-inch can go in, I've got to get the springs for the back. So I'm going to get brand new springs, and I've mentioned this before. So I'm hoping to order those this week. With any luck, hoping to order those. Could be going with the Calvert, Caltrax and Calvert monoleafs for the back. And then hopefully because I've got the compressor now, I can get some black paint, clean under there, do any sort of minor rust repairs, and get the short 9-inch in, and then put the welds back on and get rid of the old Borg Warner diff. And then we can move on to probably doing the front. Okay, before we wrap up, I mean, it is just wanted to give you a quick rundown of the garage. So this is just a double garage. So there's not a huge amount of room in here. And when you pull your car apart, you end up with parts all over the place. And that leaves even less room because say like a 9-inch takes up quite a bit of room. I've got the engine sitting there that I'd like to get to at some point. Once the suspension and stuff's done, and then there's the engine hoist. You know, every time you pull something off the car, you're gonna find a space for it. So I'm going to try to avoid that. I want to try and work on getting the stuff done that needs to be done on the car, and then we can move forward. So yeah, springs hopefully in the next week or two, then we can start looking at putting those in and using the compressor to spray black underneath, cleaning up all under there, respray the boot in diamond white, put the diff in, Bob's your uncle. So there we have it. I'm going to keep working on fitting out the garage as best I can, probably put a few shelves in some places just to get some of this stuff off the ground and make a bit more space. I've got some stuff I want to get rid of. I've got a single rail gearbox that came out from behind my Cleveland. I want to get rid of that as well because I'm going on auto. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and hopefully the next one will have something more exciting, like putting the springs or something in and doing a bit of work on the actual the body work with some welding and cleaning up some of the back there. Okay, if you've made it this far, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Like I said, thanks to all the new subscribers and all the people who've stuck around, all the existing subscribers. I really appreciate it. Thanks for supporting me and the channel. It helps grow it, and then hopefully we can monetize this channel a little bit, and I'll use that money to put into the Falcon and we can get it on the road just that little bit quicker. But anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. And we'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Damn. Damn.